love the direction that you're taking with this show. This is actually the correct step from what podcasting is right now and what podcasting will become. This is what people want. People want a conversation between people, not about topics. I mean, I'm just putting it out there from everything I've read. Mm-hmm. You know, what do you think about that?
No, I think you are starting to understand that where and why this perspective is coming about. I listen to other area podcasts. I'm not throwing them down. I listen to the interviews on 104.1. I listen to the ones that are on TV. They're not conversing. Mm-mm. They're on this scripted, manifold bullshit manifesto pushing their most recent fucking event or anything like that. When I told you when I wanted to come in and interview you, yes, we're going to plug your event at the end, but why is this man not telling me what I want to know about the man? That is one of the things, or woman for that matter, because people don't talk anymore. We don't. That's what this is all about. People
are suspicious too. And are you exploiting me? Are you exploiting an alcoholic gay man? Are you? I mean, there are all of those flavors to it.
Yeah. Why would I come after in a vindictive, manipulative way when really all I want to know?
Why? Because if done well, it's good. Come on.
Okay, maybe I'll piggyback off your fame a little bit. Which is really hot right now. Let's talk about that for a second. Within the recent month and a half, I've started noticing you being a social media presence and someone who is being interviewed by a lot of people. Now, we had agreed to do this interview a while back under just some different circumstances. Mm-hmm. Where it was going to be me, Chris, and Kristen. Oh my God! Please edit that out, Aaron. Edit that out, Aaron. Edit that out, Aaron. With Kristen, and you. The pretense has changed, but I had you booked prior before. You were on recently an extremely successful show, and I know a lot of these listeners are outside of Orlando who are going to be listening to this. So we have a popular podcast called Tom and Dan around here, and I'm actually wearing one of their T-shirts, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
I'm a fanboy. Not to the extreme as some others, but I do pay for their private size service, and I get all the content, and I can listen to it when I want, but I don't hear the kind of interviews we're having right now. That raw, real, where the conversation goes. There's nothing vindictive here. There's nothing to support a negative claim. You and I sat down prior to this and said, we're going to agree to be as civil as possible and have an interview and gain knowledge between two people. That's all I wanted.
I think the secret to good podcasting is that you forget that you're in front of a microphone and you allow yourself to go there.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, at my age, I am also highly aware of how much I have to lose. Because, Aaron, what's so interesting about where I am now, I feel like a superhero because I have super enemies. You know, I have people who haven't even met me. So
you're getting a Stalin paranoia right now, aren't you?
No, I read. I read. And I'm always amazed at the audacity of writing to somebody, whether on a private message or in a newspaper article or on a blog, and you have not met me, but you say
things. Did you have some recent shit go down? Is that because this is a subject that I was unaware that you were feeling or anything like that?
Well, I've been criticized. I'm a gender equal gallery, for example. I'm the only gallery in Orlando that's gender equal, and I try to show men and women simultaneously because female art is undervalued, underagented, underappreciated. You name it. And, Aaron, the most interesting thing is that the people who are most offended by that,
by having a male and a female showing at the same time?
Are women. Because one particular newspaper wrote about it, and they said that it is demeaning to women because women are equal to men now, and we don't need some gallery to try and balance it. And
oh, that's fucking bullshit. I'm going to call it as I see it. That's more of the same old, I'm going to say something counter to every other newspaper in town that talked about the same event in a positive light, but I'm going to be the negative Nancy, so I get a little bit more respect.
I don't know about that. I also got introduced to the term white knighting. Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
And it just
maybe it's good I stay ignorant.
We don't need your white knighting, which is, the white guy on the white horse comes in and saves the women kind of stuff. So the idea of me trying to help women, and I'm an openly gay man, so to me, there's not even that aspect that can be kind of thrown at me. It's been a little shocking. I'm also listening.
And this is pretty recent. I mean, this is within
the last 2 months.
Okay. Okay.
And also,
why would they stem out and having this opposition? Why is it even a thing? That's what, let's start there. Why did this become an issue?
A very wise person, Harold Garbe, said that when they start writing about you in negative terms, you have arrived. Because you're part of the general discussion now. And I'm feeling my way around that. I think what happened in Orlando is I have been transparent from the beginning. I don't have the credentials to be a curator. And at first I was told from many people, you're not a curator, stop calling yourself a curator. And I stopped, and I am now a gallerist. And I have also been very open about being gay and being in recovery and having been bullied as a child. And I've been as transparent as I can. And
so the open book is kind of closing its door on you a little bit because of how open you are.
I don't know. I hope not. I mean, I'm certainly becoming, like you said, maybe a little paranoid, a little suspicious. But I think the reason I have advanced is because of how I am. I mean, I've been interviewed plenty now. And I remember one of my first interviews, the young man was sitting in that chair and he had taken his pictures. And now we were talking and I was telling him I'm gay, I'm alcoholic. And he sat there and he looked at me and he was a little scared. He goes, "Can I write about that?" I said, "Yeah." And I have to tell you, Aaron, the press has not hurt me yet when it was a one-on-one interview. When they write about me without talking to me, different thing.
Well, it's your words. That's the thing that changes.
I think when I meet you and you're sitting across from me and you hear me saying, I hear your comments. I mean, I don't think criticism is negative. I think people were right to tell me I'm not a curator. But see, that comes with a caveat, because if I am not a curator because I don't have the credentials, I didn't go to school for all that.
Right.
Are other curators being asked if they're curators? I felt I got bullied a little bit, because
I could see that, but you got to remember that not everybody's going to agree with you. I know that. So the one tabloid or newspaper, whatever kind of.
No, it's valid. No, listen. I have no problems with anyone. Seriously.
But, I mean, me being in this particular industry where, oh my God, the endless amounts of shit talking are beyond even human understanding and psychology. It's what I was actually talking to a YouTube star about a year ago, because I was thinking about getting into the YouTube game and everything like that.
An influencer?
He's kind of a big deal, but we grew up together. Cool. So not...
Somebody here in Orlando?
No. Most of my contacts are outside Orlando. That's why my show has ratings on the outside as opposed to always being on the inside. I agree with the Orlando podcast scene. I like it, but I wanted to change it a little bit. I wanted to go back to its organic beginnings.
Don't agree with the Orlando.
I can't.
Look, the show is called, the current show at Mills Gallery, which today is the last day, is called Burn This Down. Because Harold Garbe, this 95-year-old artist, has nothing good to say about the art scene. And he feels it can't be salvaged. It's a dirty business, an unregulated dirty business. If Wall Street was run the way art galleries are run, everybody would be in jail.
That always fascinated me, because each particular industry has their own kind of cutthroat style. And that's like one of the things we were talking about yesterday, specifically mafia-esque, kind of tied into, how our waste management was. Mm-hmm. In the art gallery world, I'm assuming it's just as cutthroat to get your art into a gallery, or even talk to someone like you, or I'm just being facetious, okay?
No.
But,
you're
and
right.
then you have to, who do I have to fuck? Who do I have to do this to? Who do I have to talk to talk? I mean, it's the same level of manipulation and condescendingness that, kind of breeds, but you don't seem to have that with your gallery.
I might be too old because I have been offered sex. I have been offered drugs. People come in with cookies and cakes and I have learned to say no, thank you. And really, how old are you? And why are you asking me that? I mean, I try to keep it light. I don't know if I had done this at your age when I was a lot more looser with the morals. Let's put it.
Okay.
And I think the reason I'm sober is also the reason I'm successful. I am hyper aware of the stuff that comes out of my mouth. I know that I live in a town that is small enough for me to make some major enemies. If I was in New York, nothing I said or did would matter because there are people that are 10 times more interesting or creative than I. I have been called the Liberace of the Orlando art scene, and at first I was a little offended. But then I thought to myself, I like Liberace, and he was an amazing entertainer. And more than anything, I am an entertainer. So if people think I'm the Liberace of the Orlando art scene, so be it. I mean, look at my socks. Apparently, I can't help myself, so it's all good.
It's funny you mentioned socks. I got into that recently. Is doing the more not today. Surprisingly, today's laundry day. But I usually have these pink, purple, red, and green socks that I wear. It's the one thing that doesn't fit in with the fashion that I kind of portray. I look like a metalhead up top, and on the bottom, I look like a very gender fluid gay man. I don't even know if that statement makes sense, but
You know what I heard? I work with a designer. I've worked with several designers. I work with Daniel Chimovich, who's a designer from Europe. I now work with Loritza Castillo. She's a designer here from
that just sounded
Orlando.
Important.
It is. She's important. She said that is your human part. Because I dress very conservative, very old European, but my socks are always funky. So it's the part where you look at me and you go, okay, I can get in there somewhere. There's still hope. They're not black socks or blue socks. They're crazy ass rainbow socks. I have socks with monkeys and money and all kinds of things because it's my way of saying, it's my flag that says, yeah, I'm still here. I'm not total corporate.
This is your freak flag.
Maybe, yes.
You actually gave me a good idea for searching out for a sponsor for the show. I'm going to get one who does funky socks because then I can get away with wearing pizza socks, and then that would just be something that I would actually endorse. Which is very hard for me to find sponsors because of who and what I am. So.
Really?
Yeah, because when you shop around, you have to find products that you will actually stand behind. And I find anything that's hyper made to be cheap and plastic doesn't work out for me. And a lot of the online sponsors out there that are kind of pushing the razor that has like the gimmicky Chinese shit that you can find.
I find it hard that you have a hard time finding sponsors because you have a good product, which is you. Mm-hmm. And you have a good instinct, and I can already tell this is going to be more than just the dance. It's just a back and forth, which is great. I'm always surprised when I'm on shows that are very successful, and I'm not talking Tom and Dan because that I actually get, but other shows, let's say, and not Peter from Taborski. I love Peter. Peter had a good point about me in a recent conversation. He said that I'm an old man in a young man's game. But he didn't mean it in a mean way. He just said he was trying to explain to me that what might be a disadvantage maybe to other people looking in, to me it's a huge advantage because I know what I want. I want to succeed. I want to do something with my life. I want to leave something. I want to create something. I'm producing shows now. I am taking this idea of what a gallerist, what a curator is, to a completely different level.
I completely understand that.
And I think the only ones who are going to succeed are going to be people like you and me who expand what it is. That's why I was circling back. don't know. The Orlando podcast scene, it has to be done